Hi there and welcome to Brands Hatch for round 8 of the Coach Dave GT3 Sprint Cup on low fuel motorsport. We're in the Ferrari 296 today and I've managed to put it 8th on the grid after a pretty close qualifying session. So Brands Hatch is a particularly exciting course for me because it's probably the track I've spent the most time on when I was first learning how to play ACC. It's a tight, technical, twisting track that requires a lot of concentration. The corners come up on you really fast, thick and fast, and quite often you're unsighted of them because of the elevation changes. So the pack's now fully onto the Brabham straight as we approach the start of the race, and we're green, we're off. It's a good start, pretty good start. I can see Carl Rees on the right hand side of us has moved up from 9th position. He's challenging, yes, he's got us there, he's taken us, and he's on the inside of the bend here, so he's got a good position on Magno, maybe to make up another place just as we head for Druids for the first time. No, the pack's bunched up. Oh yes, I think he's got his opportunity there. I think he'll make it round the inside if we can get round the inside of Magno as well, but no, we had to back out there. So we've lost one place off the start. First time into Graham Hill Bend. This is an absolutely treacherous corner that's caught me out many times. Not too hard to do when you're in a pack and everyone's going carefully though. Shaping up for Surtees now as we go in. Tricky left-hander, late apex. Everyone's staying together and everyone's racing cleanly. I haven't seen a single accident in front or behind. I haven't noticed a yellow flag being deployed, although number 21 does seem to be lagging right at the back of the pack. He might have had some trouble. So into the fast right-hander that is Hawthorne Bend here. You can see Magno on the left. He had a little incident with us a few races back where he absolutely cannoned into us on that and ruined our race really. So we're going to give him a little bit of a cautious bit of space there just to make sure everything's okay. So coming up over Sheens and approaching Sterling's on the left now and then into Clearways. The first lap's nearly over and I've got to say these laps do come up thick and fast. It's only a short lap, about 1:25 around, and you're so busy concentrating on all the corners that it seems to fly by. Not a bad exit there, but Magno got a better one than us as we come back into the Brabham straight again and approach Paddock Hill Bend for the second time. Easy line through, picking up speed down the hill, and then we're going to have to brake sharply here for Druids. Oh, Magno's gone a bit wide. That gives us an opportunity to close up. Not quite enough room there to overtake him, but that was a nice little move just to give us a bit of a chance maybe later on in the lap to challenge him, although he seems to be pulling away through Graham Hill Bend now. We've got some pressure behind us from Beck. Need to keep an eye on that, although I'm trying not to focus in my mirrors. I'm trying to keep an eye on what's ahead of me, but Beck's having a look up the inside. Looks like I've managed to hold him off, managed to carry good speed there around Surtees, and now we're going into Pilgrim's Drop. Down we go, down the hill towards Hawthorne Bend. Magno's taken Mac, and he's up into 7th place now, so we're chasing the McLaren of Mac for 8th place. Taking a decent line through here, down Dingledale, approaching Sheens. This is a blind right-hander, really hard to get right, but I've done it a lot of times. It's not one I usually drop. And Max got it all wrong though. He's dipped his wheel in the grass on the left, and I can tell you that is absolutely deadly. He did really well to hold it there. If you even dip a single wheel, you can lose the back really easily, and that'll send you right into the barriers and finish off your race pretty quickly. Magno's got his elbows out there to get round Rees. Oh, it's a little bit argy-bargy there, and we make the most of that as well. Rees isn't happy flashing his lights at Magno there, but we take advantage of the situation and get through. We're alongside Magno now, going through Paddock Hill Bend. Can we hold it? We do. We make 2 places up in a single straight. Great double overtake there, feeling really good about that, although I'm sure Rees is ruining the challenge from Magno, and I can tell you I feel his pain after Magno's attempt on our life into Hawthorne Bend a few races ago. So he's a bit of a dangerous driver. We were lucky there to pass him on Paddock Hill Bend, which is a nice wide corner where you can give him plenty of space. So into Surtees, left-hand corner, Magno sticking right to our tail. We don't have a lot of room here. We're going to try and increase the gap behind us there as we go down Pilgrim's Drop and towards Hawthorne Bend, although he is within 3/10, which is definitely dive bomb range, so we're just keeping an eye on our mirror here. He's right up on us, but he did have to brake at least, so we managed not to die there. Coming into Westfield Bend and then into Dingledale. That's a slightly wide line. I think we've just gone off track there. We'll get a warning from the marshals for that. That's pretty safe there through Sheens and approaching Sterling's now. I think I've got the hang of Sterling's, just dipping my wheels on the curb there and then running out full exit onto the curves there. Approaching Clark Curve. Pretty straightforward turn, but it's quite difficult to get the acceleration point right so that you don't sort of wash out wide onto the grass on the left there. So we're 3 laps down, and it's looking pretty good. We've gone up 2 places from our starting grid position and 3 places from our poor start, dropping back into 9th. We've got Kyle Reese. I wonder if it's the Kyle Reese from the Terminator. Oh dear, and that's Cornelson. He's dropped it there on coming out of, looked like it was coming out of Druids. He dropped it, and thankfully he was reversing off the racing line to give us all a chance to get past. So no major issues there. Don't think it impacted Reese or myself coming through. So we've still got the battle is still on, and we're making up a 10th or 2 on Reese here, coming down the back straight. Down Pilgrim's dropping into Hawthorne Bend again. Yeah, we've made up another 10th. That's 2 tenths. We've closed the gap slightly. 3 tenths up to 8 tenths now. Wonder if we're going to have a chance this lap, or whether we'll have to wait for a little bit later to try and put a move on him. This is not the best opportunity on the track here to try and pass someone. It's very, very difficult to go too wide anyway. You just don't give anyone enough space. Someone's going to have an accident if you try and barge your way through in this part of the course. So Reese got it slightly wrong there, coming out of Stirling's into Clearways. That gives us another chance to close up. We're within 5 tenths now, half a second of him. Under braking, who can get the better exit? It looks like Reese managed to get a better exit there, although we've still gained a 10th on him. We were down to 3 tenths. He's pulled the 10th back on. So lap 5, and we've definitely got Reese in our sights here. I'm not focusing on Spiteri ahead, but I just noticed at least we're still in touch with the leaders. Only a couple of seconds to second. Decent clean line through there. We're still hanging on Reese, but we're not really making any gains at the moment. Coming into 30s again. Keeping it tight to the apex. Need a good drive out of here. This straight's the perfect place to really sort of close up on someone and then try and make a pass in Hawthorne Bend. I'd say Hawthorne could bet one of the better places on the track to make a pass, but we're definitely not close enough here. Pretty clean through Hawthorne, and we're closing up again. Westfield Bend, very wide again there, very wide. That's a track cut, definitely. Sheens just caught slightly too much of the inside there. Didn't cut the track, but unsettled the car slightly and couldn't really go for it on the exit. Still half a second to Reese. So Brands Hatch has been put in this season as a replacement for Laguna Seca, which had some technical issues and couldn't be raced after I think the first day. I think they had a day of races there, but they had to switch it to Brands Hatch, which I was really pleased about because, as I say, Brands Hatch is a super familiar track for me. And Laguna Seca, I'd taken a day to start learning, which I was enjoying, and the corkscrew is a fantastic challenge, but I was really a little bit disappointed to see that Brands Hatch wasn't on the calendar when I first started racing LFM this season, having spent so much time on it. So to get it sort of subbed in the last minute felt like a real godsend, but as it turned out, the races this week have been very up and down. I've had a couple of great races where I've finished, I think I won one, and certainly finished in the top 5 a few times. And then other ones where the nature of Brands Hatch being so tight and twisty just lends itself towards accidents. So as I said before, we got wiped out by Magna on a previous race, and certainly the first few corners have not been great for me and in many races this week. So we're just going to have to hope this one works out well for us. We're really closing in on Reese now. We're under half a second behind him now, so into the magical, I think, 3 tenths where you can start to sort of think about diving and making a move. He's just pulling away slightly. We had a slightly scrappy few corners there as we come into Clark Curve again at the end of lap 5. No, sorry, at the end of lap 6. And he's maintaining a 4 tenths gap in front of us. We're going to have to do something here to try and close it. Druids is always a good opportunity to try and close in. There's a number of lines here. This is I'm taking a U line here, but I sometimes think it's quicker to V it, but it's slightly more risky to V it because you've got to go a lot deeper under braking, and you've got to get a really good exit out after you sort of turn the V corner. So this is our opportunity. It looks like we've got a decent drive out of here, although he's taken the corner a lot tighter than us. we can just get... No, I don't think we're going to catch him on this straight, unfortunately. I think we've both got a pretty similar drive out of there, even though I took a slightly wider line, better traction zone. He took a tighter line, and I think it all balanced out. Both pretty quick around Hawthorne there. Into Westfield, tidy. A little bit of cutting, but didn't take as much of the exit cover. Oh, he's dipped a wheel. That's going to slow him down slightly. We've got a chance to... Oh, he's done it again. He's a bit scrappy. Oh, we've hit the we hit the curb really hard there. So there was an opportunity. His car made a few mistakes, but we've made a big mistake ourselves, and I think that's even things out. So we're not any closer to him. That's a shame. Oh, we've moved within 3 tenths just there. It's a possibility now. If we can get a good drive out onto the Brabham straight, we might have a good chance to challenge him coming into Paddock Hill. That is another overtaking opportunity, and we're 2 tenths behind. Doesn't feel close enough from where I'm sitting here. Although we're going to close right up on him. Definitely put him under some pressure this lap. Both of us tidy through Paddock Hill, braking hard into Druids. Try and really put him under pressure this lap. See if he'll make a mistake. See if I can take advantage of any space that he leaves me. Graham Hill Bend. Always one where I'm a little bit nervous, and that showed there. I definitely eased up. I think I might have got the line wrong, and Carl's pulled out a little bit of a gap on us now, so we're not in as challenging a position, but we've got a good line this time through Surtees. We've closed up a few tenths on him there. Okay, so we're back to where we were. It's all balanced out. Pretty even race here. He's dipped a wheel off there again. That's going to hurt him slightly if we can take advantage of it. We've definitely closed the 10th there. It's not enough though coming through this back section. It's not really a good place to make a pass, even though again he's gone wide. We didn't take a great line coming through that one through Hawthorne. Sheens is okay. Always that's again very dangerous. Lucky to save it there, dipping a wheel off the track into the grass there is usually a recipe for race-ending disaster. This is coming up towards the end of lap 8 now, and we're still stuck behind Reese. I say stuck behind, I don't think we're significantly faster than him, if at all. We've got a 10th maybe in it here and there. Okay, looks tidy for both of us again. We're definitely close now, 2 tenths. Definitely got to be feeling like I could send it from here somewhere. Graham Hill is not the place you really want to send a move, so I'm not going to. Just try and keep it tidy, try and keep close. Look for the opportunity, possibly through Surtees or possibly through Hawthorne after we've gone down Pilgrim's Drop on the back straight. Keeping it nice and close now, really close. Got to get a good drive out of here. Stay right up underneath his rear wing if we can. 3 tenths is not ideal. Into this bend, although it's a high-speed corner, I don't think we're going to have a look. Slightly early on the brakes there. That's both of our speed. Just managed to hold it there. You can see him fighting the wheel slightly. Bend looks good from us. He's gone really wide again. Got to be careful though, he's not going to get a drive through for too many track cuts. We're able to close right up under him under Sheens here. Dangerous place again to be so close. Left hand through Sterling's, managing to keep it close, but there's no opportunities yet. This is how it can be quite a lot on Brands Hatch. You can be really close, really sort of within striking distance, and there's just no opportunities present themselves. You've got to be really careful because you don't want to take yourself and your competitor out. You want to try and keep it as clean as possible. So we're 2 tenths behind him going into Paddock Hill Bend as we start lap 10. And we're able to keep it really close. Great line through here. Both take a really good line. It's going to be very difficult under braking here. I've taken a V line because when you're so close to someone, your braking becomes slightly less effective because you lose downforce. You're in a slipstream, so I really should have been a bit more careful there. I was slightly earlier on the brakes, I was lucky not to hit him. He's cut there again. He must be lifting because he should have had a drive through for multiple warnings. Yeah, okay, we've got a great drive here. We've definitely got him down this straight. We've got an advantage on him. I'm not saying we've got him, but we've definitely got an advantage on him here. We're nearly alongside. I'm going to shake to the inside, try and make a pass as we go through Hawthorns. This is my favourite place to overtake. Slightly later on the brakes. We're side by side through Hawthorns, keeping it tidy. I just have to lift slightly so we don't go into him. That was really close. This is a difficult place to overtake here, and I've got to lift significantly so that we don't wash out into him. However, it seems to have paid off. We've managed to make it through. Can we hold it though? That was a really dangerous overtake, really difficult thing to hold. Quite pleased we didn't make any contact there. I've gone wide, coming through Sterling's, and that's given me an opportunity to come right up on the back of me. There's only a 10th in it. So come into Clark Curve, he's right up on me again. I was a bit cautious there, and you can see me sort of washing out slightly wide. He's gone wide too, so that's encouraging. But only a tenth behind us coming into Paddock Hill Bend. I've got to take a defensive line. I've got to just hold the inside slightly. Again, he's right up on us under braking. He's backed out there. He had to lift. That's given us an opportunity to just open the gap slightly. 4 tenths now as we go into Druids. Taking a V-line. He's followed me in, not expecting that. I think that's target acquisition there. He doesn't usually drive a V-line through that corner, so probably wasn't expecting me to brake so late. So target fixation, not target acquisition. It's one of those things when you're driving really close behind another car, you tend to sort of focus on what they're doing rather than what you usually do, and it can lead to small problems, or it can lead to big disasters. And that was very good of Carl there, just to hold that V-shaped line and not lose too much time. He's only lost a couple of tenths to us there. So I'm now not focusing so much on defending with a fifth of a second gap. We've got Bruno coming up at the back marker in a McLaren there. He's gone wide, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Clean past him, no issues at all. Coming through the back section, through Dingledale and into Sheens. Got that right. This is another place that has often been my nemesis. Sheens, between the gap between the straight between Sheens and Stirling has often been somewhere where I've put it into the boards, because you only really have to get it slightly wrong when you're out onto the grass. And if you're not careful, if you just dip the back wheel or dip the back wheel onto the grass on that little straight there, it's usually all over. I mean, I've seen both Magno and Reese hold it in this race, and hats off to them. That's an impressive piece of driving to say that. I have not been able to do that so far in all my races here. So we're up to lap 12 now. Got 8 minutes, just under 9 minutes left in the race, and keeping things pretty tidy up to 4th position. Really pleased with that from an 8th place start, dropping down to 9th straight off the start. We've got Spiteri in our sights, 3.4 seconds up the road. Let's see if we can close in on him. See Magno and Reese behind us. Magno's only 4 tenths behind Reese at the moment, so he's going to be giving them some challenges, which is good for us because it'll help us to drive away slightly if they're fighting. But I feel like Magno's got more pace than Reese. Qualified behind him actually, but he's always had quite a strong race pace. No, he didn't. He qualified ahead of him. My mistake. Sorry. Reese came up from behind us. Reese qualified 9th and took us on the start line. Magno was directly in front of us in 6th, I want to say. So we know Magno's fast, and we know Reese can obviously drive the course really well. He was in front of us for a number of laps. Magno's coming back through the field. In fact, Magno's got him. Looks like Reese must have made a mistake because Magno is off. I didn't see what happened there, but I think Bruno may have possibly been involved with the back marker going back, possibly. So we're in the low 125s in lap time. We've been pretty consistent here, putting in good, consistent pace. We've actually made up a few tenths on Spiteri here, so I wonder if we'll be able to challenge him for 3rd before the end of the race. Oh no, I spoke too soon. I was concentrating on P3, lost it coming through one of my nemesis corners, Graham Hill Bend there, and now we're fighting to retain 5th with Dunk. I think you say it's Dunk. What's his name? Bastian Dunk, DMC. Racing the Ferrari, but SLK Racing. So Magno got past us no problems as we were having an inspection of the barrier just after Graham Hill Bend on the Cooper Straight. Now we've got to really keep it tidy for the next 6.5 minutes in order to maintain our position. Hopefully chase down Magno, but we know Magno's got pace. He's 2 seconds ahead of us, and we've got 6 minutes left in the race. We might be able to close that gap up and fight for 4th place back, but I think 3rd has gone 7.8 seconds ahead of us with 6 minutes left. I don't think we're going to close that gap, but it's all to play for 4th. And if Bastien behind us is going to give us a race, then we might well need to fight a defensive race for the next 6 minutes. He is door number 4, so he's decent as far as his ELO is concerned. So he's a decent racer. Not sure where he qualified, but it looks like we've got a race in our hands for the last few laps. Previously 5/10 would be a decent cushion and I'll be focusing on Magno, but I feel I'm slightly worried that I've taken a bit of damage after I put it into the barriers there. And also you can see our rear left tyre is slightly warm, so that's not going to be helping our grip on any of the right hand turns, of which there are plenty. So I just need to be a little bit conscious of that. 6 seconds, we seem to be pulling away from him slightly, and we can turn our attention towards trying to catch Magno here. 1.5 seconds to make it. We've gone really wide there. That's our attention slipping slightly, and Bastian's back on us within half a second. Didn't lose too much time to Magno, fortunately, so he might have had a similar instant. Coming through Sterling's again into clearways, approaching Clark Curve. And I think I'm feeling pretty confident that we can keep Bastian behind us. I'm not so certain we can close the gap up to Magno. He seems to be pulling away now. He's got a decent drive under him, and he's adding tenths to his speed. And I'm wondering if that might be a little bit of damage on our part as well, potentially. We didn't hit the barrier too hard, but you know, even if we take a bit of damage, it loses a tenth here or there. It's going to make it very difficult to close up on a cleaner car. We've gone wide there on Druids. That wasn't a V line, that was just a bad line. So we obviously too late on the braking, didn't approach it the right way, and Bastian's caught up on us again. But it does seem that while we're driving well, we're pulling away from him. So yeah, I'm not too worried. We just need to make sure we keep it clean and stick to our usual line to keep Bastian under control. And very slightly eating into Magno's lead as well. Noticed, but I've got a pedal cam up in the top right hand side of the screen there. Just see what my pedal inputs are, if that's something that interests you, and that does interest some people. And in the top left we've got the TV camera replay, which you can watch. I'm sure you've noticed that by now. So yeah, we've got a second gap now over Bastian behind us, which is making me feel pretty confident that we're going to hold 5th position as long as we don't do anything stupid. So focus is forward now, eyes forward on trying to catch Gabriel Magno in his green Ferrari. It looked like he put a little foot outside the track there, which has perhaps given us a tenth or two advantage on him. So we might be able to try and close that gap this lap. Let's see how we get on as we start lap 16. Druids again, and this time we're driving the V-line, trying to make as much speed as possible, slightly wide of the apex there, but we get a decent drive out. I think we're taking another tenth out of Magno there. Hill bend, just trying not to die, going around there, that's all good. Keep it tidy into 30s. Hold the apex tightly, and I think we're doing a good job of just closing ever so slowly, whittling away the tenths, trying to get back on Magno. 2.5 minutes left, that's probably 3 laps. Including this one. Pedal down as we go through Hawthorne Bend there, that can be a really high speed at the corner if you get it just right. Needed to cut slightly more of the apex there, but use a good amount of the runoff, carry the speed through, so we're doing pretty well through Dingle and up towards Sheens. Get Sheens pretty good. I think if we cut slightly more, we could have been a bit earlier on the power. But we do seem to be closing in. He does seem to be getting closer, 1.2 seconds ahead of us. We've gone a bit too wide there coming out of Sterling's, taking a lot of the grass, but it doesn't seem to hold us back. We closed up to a second on Magno here, coming through Clark Curve onto the straight. We've gone really wide that time, that's definitely going to hurt us. Managed to hold it together though. Yeah, we've lost a good half a second there, more than half a second on Magno. It's going to take a bit of a miracle, I think, to get back onto the back of him here. 2 laps to go. Just noticed we've got 2 track cut warnings, so you've got to be careful that you get, I think if you get 3 or 4 of those, or 3 or 4, you have to do a drive-through penalty, which is a good extra 30 seconds onto your lap. So maybe that's slightly wide there, but you've still got a 2-second gap on us. I mean, oh blimey, and if you look behind us, Bastian's caught us up. He's within 0.3 of a second, so we've not been driving too well, it seems, the first part of this lap, or he's been pulling a lap out of his proverbial. Try and maintain that gap now, although I have to say I don't think during the race I was concentrating pretty hard on what was behind me. I was really trying to close the gap with Magno, so I was probably overdriving slightly here, which is not the fastest way to go. 0.3 is definitely a dangerous gap behind us. Definitely take Westfield well. Sheens is going to be a critical one to get right here. Yeah, I'll take that pretty fast, lose the back ever so slightly, but I think I hold it okay. Sterling's pretty good, a little bit bumpy on the exit, but we've put a good half a second into Bastien behind us there. Curve a lot better this time. No gravel in our tyres. We can really put our foot down now as we come through into the Brabham Straight for the penultimate time. I think this will be the last lap, 28 seconds left. See the leaders are just going through just gone through gravel bend, approaching 30s now. So Magno is still 2 seconds ahead of us, close 2 seconds in a lap. He's going to require a mistake from Magno here, so we've just got to keep it tidy, keep it consistent, keep it as fast as we can keep it, and hope that he makes a mistake. 4 tenths up there. So he's obviously got that. I don't know if anybody else gets this, but I always get that last lap feeling when I start to slow down massively, trying to make sure I don't make a mistake. So I think Magno's got that now. We've picked up 8 tenths on him here. When you've got no one to chase, it's really difficult to maintain the speed, because you're just focusing on consolidating your place and ensuring that you don't make a mistake and hold your own place. It's very easy just to take your foot off slightly, and it's definitely happening to Magno here, because there's a second between us. There's only about 4 corners left to go, and there's been an off. It's back marker T-Banana, and that's really let us in. So we've got 2 corners left. We're right underneath the rear wing now of Magno, coming down on clearways into Clock Curve. I'm going to have one opportunity to send it up the inside here if I can do it. Magno just shut the door on us. Frankly, I couldn't really risk putting my nose in there. That would have been the end of us. We know he's aggressive. He definitely would have. You can anticipate that, and it's going to be 5th place. We're really pleased with 5th place from an 8-plate start and a really exciting race. Lots of action. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.